Hey, good afternoon. Bob, Trade Genius here. It's the 7th of February. I have two public service announcements. The first one is and I'll talk about it in detail when I get into my video here, but you, I think a 2007-2008 event is lining up. And so if you have a lot of assets in the stock market, you need to start thinking about repositioning, and we'll start talking about that in weeks to come. But I think we're going to get another debt liquidation, and this XIV thing shouldn't have happened, okay? Other than people were just totally opaque as to just how imbalanced the system is. And my understanding, talking to other people, that this is the first of many landmines. So I'll get to that in a second. The second thing is that a lot of people missed the winter specials that wanted to join, and of course people are reluctant to pay the retail price. But I have good news. I don't have anything on the anything put up yet, but we'll honor anybody calling in or emailing in, actually, and texting us, whatever, asking for any of the services. You can just say, hey, Bob and Phil said you'll honor a 50% off on the anything in the room or on the on for sale, except for consulting, obviously. And we'll go ahead and honor. Just say, hey, Bob said we have a half off. So we'll try to get something up in the next week or two for those people. But we're kind of overwhelmed and just gratified at the level of interest in us really helping people, trying to make money here in the markets. And it's going to get more difficult, but for us as traders, it's actually going to get easier because we now have a two-way market. So just go to TradeGeniusAcademy.com, and there's anything in the room there other than consulting. You can request 50% off, and we'll honor it. But you have to mention it when you get in the room, and in the meantime, we'll get something up on the site here. But been getting asked a lot, so we'll go ahead and do it. We want everybody on board and take advantage of it. ETF side, crypto side, you name it, and we'll put it together. So thanks for letting me do the plug. Now I'm not going to show too many charts today, but I just want to show you here. So this is this was a channel that we've been in, and like I said, I talked about before, is that you have when it breaks a channel like this, you always look for it to come back in, and you would have sold. Now ignore my signals, they're really designed for the hourly. I just don't want to keep turning them on and off, or maybe I should just turn it off here. Is that it broke the channel, and then what happened here, I'll zoom in, we had kind of an island top form here. Can't really see it, it's too tight, but an island top, and then we have another gap down, and then we fell again, and then we had this this reaction low here, okay? And don't need the ATR either. And so now what I did was is I make this even a little bit better here, is that we have an opportunity here to put on a little bit of a Fibonacci here, move here, so we can kind of gauge the enthusiasm for a move higher. And so what happened here is that the push just after one day, it pushed all the way up almost to half retrace, and has fallen back below the 38% move here. And now my view is, as I mentioned it yesterday in the video, is that I'm thinking that this low is not going to hold. You just don't have this kind of damage this fast without more damage coming, because you got to realize we have 2 or 3 days of margin selling coming, and if this doesn't hold, we'll have 2 or 3 more days next week of margin selling coming. And so my thinking is this whole run started in September, and let me just pull up here. Here's a big volume ledge right here too. And this is kind of where it started. This is when they started raising interest rates on the 10-year. I don't know who decided, but somebody decided they're going to sell bonds. And I think what it is, they were going to sell bonds to drive people into the stock market. That's the game. You flush them out of bonds and into stocks. Well, it got to the point of ridiculousness. And then what they did here was, then this part here was when they started selling the dollar hard against all the currencies. So this was just against the yen and the mostly the Asian currencies. This was when the euro took off, and this finally broke the market. Okay, and so I think this whole thing is going to come back down. If it doesn't get to here, it's going to get to here, and but this isn't done moving yet, and so just bear that in mind. I think it's going to come down. Now, the all clear is if it climbs back over 276. Usually when it gets 2/3 of the way back, then it's probably going to try to make new highs. But in the meantime, we had a pretty weak close, and there's still a lot of stuff going on here. So I'm thinking we're going to get back down to here. So just bear that in mind and be careful. Now we're definitely going to bounce here, and there's a lot of people thinking this is a bounce that'll run us up 90 days, and then we'll get into summertime, and then we'll swoon into the fall. I don't know. That's just too far out for my thinking. And but if you look at 2008, start studying that chart. We'll start whipping around here, and it's just not an environment. You know, you had 9 years of gains. People are going to lock those gains in. Okay, don't be the last to jump off the ship. Now the other chart I want to show you is that we were negative on oil too, and for the same reasons. So, you know, you get a push higher, broke out of the channel again, and then it made a little bit of a lower high, and then it just fell out of bed here. Now, my thing, this is USO. I can show you CL here in a second. My thinking is that it's probably going to come down to here. We have a USO 13 strike puts on, and for next Friday. But if not, we'll probably get to here, and then I'll reevaluate. So I have quite a few, and then I won't give up my profit on it. But I'll show you oil from a future standpoint here too. So it's delayed, but we're far enough into it that you'll get my point. Okay, and it looks pretty similar. So I'm thinking that this is probably in play right here, anywhere 58, 59. And then there's a trader that I kind of just follow on Twitter, just what she has to say. She's doing a long time, but her information is that if we get below 60, the market makers will start forcing liquidations. And what happens, this happened before a couple years ago, and then once they start liquidating, people will short to protect their positions, and then the shorting begets shorting, just like what happened with the VIX contract this week. That'll happen to the oil contract. I understand there's a lot of leverage in here too. So oil will be a lot of people have been hiding out in oil. I think finally puked it up today, and so I think this can get lower. Now you're looking at gold. I just don't know. This channel here hit the top of the channel. It broke down, and so you know, probably looking at here, and then we'll have to see a lot of volume here too. But you know, looking at September, you know, September made a high here, so we'll just see how well gold holds up during this this move down. I know there's a lot of people pretty bearish on it. I'm not sure what to think about it at the moment. And then our good friend Bitcoin, excuse me for the cough, is that here's this channel it's in. And I'll put my thing up here too, because I want to show you so I am waiting for Bitcoin on the daily to get a buy signal, but this is a falling wedge. We're still inside it, and now it formed very strong support in this area here. Again, this is the November area, and then down here September is another area, you know, of a lot of transaction, very tight ranges. And so, is it possible that it could get down here to test? You know, that's always something to bear in mind. It needs to break up and through and get back up into this area here again. So, but I don't trade Bitcoin on a daily, but this is a pretty steep falling wedge, and you know, we're at a point where when you're 70% through the wedge, usually will break. So so I'm looking for this to chop around. Phil talks about Bitcoin a lot more. I'm more of a trader of the altcoins, and I just throw proceeds into Bitcoin here as my macro play. But anyway, I just want to show those things. I don't want to get caught into a whole bunch of different charts, because I think everything's going to revolve around the volatility, oil, gold, and the main index, and that's kind of where I'm spending my time and putting my money to work. So anyway, thanks for listening. Be back at you tomorrow. Hopefully Phil will be back out and about and throw a video up overnight, and so we can keep updating you. But actually, for a trader, this is fun times. For a long-term investor, I think it's time to get your umbrella out, because it's going to start to rain. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.